Welcome to Twisting for Larger Bodies. So for me, twisting has always been a challenge because I do have abundance in the center of my body. And often I get questions on my social media around how do I do Marichyasana? That seems to be the standard question of the week. So I thought we'd address it here for larger bodies. So ordinarily, if I'm teaching a teacher how to teach this and they don't have a lot of flesh in the center of their body, I'll invite them to pad themselves so they can get a feeling for what it's like to twist. And when we're thinking about twisting, we want to think about twisting from the most flexible parts of our spine. So what are the most flexible parts of our spine? Our cervical spine, because it's not impinged by our rib cage, and our lower back. Where our rib cage or our thoracic spine is, it's harder to twist because our ribs are in the way. And it's even harder to twist if you're in a larger body because things bump into other things. So I call it boobs, butt, and thighs. So these are the things that will keep us from feeling the full extent of our flexibility because they're going to butt into each other. So having said that, I want to remind you that this practice is your own and you are allowed to touch your body. So you want to be able to just move things out of the way. So one thing I've learned from my colleague Amber Carnes is that two things in twisting in larger bodies. One is we want to get bigger, and two, we want to move things out of the way. So go wider or take up space, as I like to say, and then just move things out of the way. So let's start in a very basic twist, and then we'll move into more complicated twists. So first off, we're going to sit up onto the edge of a folded blanket, a block, or a meditation cushion, just so we're not dumping into our low back or our hips. And we're reminded when we sit on something to sit upright. And so for those of us with belly in the middle, most of the times it's pretty soft and flexible and we can pick it up and move it. So I want to remind you, especially if you're in a public class, nobody is watching you as you're practicing because everybody else is pretty caught up in A, what the teacher is saying, and B, what they're doing. So nobody's going to notice if you lift and move your flesh. So let's take a comfortable seat and do a basic twist here. So what would happen is as I start to twist, let's bring our hands to heart center. Let's think about just twisting from beneath the rib cage. So bring your thumbs to your sternum, lift up through the body, and then just gently twist to the left, keeping the hips anchored. So we're pushing down through the hips, keeping the spine long, and just twisting here. So for some of us, that's as far as we're going to get in the twist. And that's okay because this is still a twist. Let's go to the other side. And you can do this from a lunge position, right? Where, you know, the instruction is to hook your elbow behind your knee. That's not going to happen for a lot of us. So we can just twist from beneath the rib cage and it's still a twist. We'll explore that as well. So come back through center. What we also can play with as a twist, if you know something like Marichyasana is not available to us, is we can just do a seated twist this way. Because the whole action is we're trying to get the body into a twist. Does it matter exactly what pose we get the twist into? I don't think so. I think what matters is the benefit of the twisting, right? So we'll start by taking our right hand, placing it on our left knee. And now if we have flesh in the middle of our bodies, you'll grab the flesh and push it into your lap and then twist. Then you can release the fingertips to the side or to the back or behind you. Okay. Sometimes if your breast gets in the way, you can tuck your breast underneath your arm. Or you can pull your breast to the center of the body. So we're just really subtle with our movements, but it's okay to touch your body in yoga. You let the teacher touch it, right? Inhale, come back through center, and let's try pulling the flesh into the direction of the twist. So grab your belly. I have tight pants on today, so grabbing my belly flesh isn't as easy. Pull it into the direction, perfect, Dana, into the direction of the twist, and then release the fingertips down and see if you get a little bit further into the twist. So if your breast gets in the way, you can tuck your breast underneath your arm or you can pull it to the center. Okay. Come back through center. Now let's move into a Marichyasana variation. Go ahead and stretch your legs out in front. Do a nice internal spiral of the thighs. I prefer in this particular pose to sit up on the edge of a blanket as opposed to a block or a bolster because it makes it harder to root down through the back of your thighs. So she can still touch the back of her thighs to the floor. If you had anything that was higher, it would be harder to make that contact and have that resistance. So let's go ahead and bend the right knee. and bring it as close to the sitting bones as possible and as close to the inner thigh as possible. So here's the challenge. The next instruction is often cross that right foot over the left. So go ahead and do it. I think you're probably flexible enough and this is not going to be a problem. If I were doing this, my foot would not make contact with the floor. This is what I would look like. And then my knee would be really far away from my body, and then my ability to twist would be very hindered. So what I tell people who are rocking an abundant body in this pose is you don't need to cross the foot. It's not going to make that much of a difference in the grand scheme of things. So you can just pull it in as closely as possible, okay? And then what we're going to do is go ahead and take your left hand and pull the flesh of your belly to the center, almost putting it in your lap. Fantastic, that was really good. Flex the bottom foot, then take the left hand, hug the right knee, okay? You may need to situate the breasts and then, yeah, if you're okay, there you go. I'm glad that you have girls so that we can show how to move them. And then inhale and the hitchhike back. Stick your thumb out, reach back, hitchhike back, and bring your fingertips behind you. So here's your variation of Marichasana. For some of us who are going to have thigh flesh, who are going to have belly flesh, who are going to have breast flesh, that are going to run into each other while we're trying to twist, which is going to limit how much access we have to our flexibility simply because things are in the way. So the key is go bigger and just move stuff out of the way. It's totally okay so that you can get the benefit of the stretch. Beautiful. Now, some people are really, really attached to doing the bind. I'm not attached to anything in yoga. I just get what I can get done. So if you're interested in the bind, you can play with the strap. So I'm going to have you do the bind with the strap. So when you reach around, let's do it. Yeah. We'll place the strap in this hand, and then we'll place the strap this way, and you can pull on the strap and come back. Or I would even cross it in the front of the body. I'm going to grab this side. Cross it in the front of the body, reach back, and then hook this around your knee here, and then pull on the strap and open. You can flex your foot back here, root down. So then you can play with binding that way and using the resistance across the knee to maybe give you a little more twist in the upper shoulder. And then we can play the opposite way. So we can do the counter stretch. So it's release and bring the stretch to the inside. So now we are going to hook the strap around, yeah, and then bring the elbow on the inside, yep. And you can even actually just grab the strap and you can pull here. So we can just play. What I would recommend you do is play. So then that thumb will pull the knee in a little bit more. Then you can use the back of the arm to push against the knee, and then you can curl the shoulder up and back and just play. Beautiful. And then you can play with switching it up onto the other side. Fantastic. So now I'm going to have Dana come to hands and knees. And then Dana, step your right foot forward for a lunge pose. Don't forget to pad your knees if you need it. So two things, depending on how much belly or how much abundance you have in your belly, you can play with the twist. So bring both hands to the right leg. And here's how I twist from a lunge position. So you can do this upright. We're just going to choose on the knee today. You can take the left hand and bring it to the outer edge of the right knee and take the right hand to the waist. Now, when you do this, you might want to pull your belly to the center. So go ahead and push your belly to the center. And see what happened when she did that? She got more range of motion. Hand on the waist, and then she can twist this way. Beautiful. Untwist both hands on the knees. You can bring the hands together at heart center and simply twist from the heart, okay? Or you can bring your hands up to the sky, bring your left hand out in front and your right arm down behind and twist this way, okay? So there's more than one way to peel a potato, right? So let's do the other side just because we only twisted on the one side here and I think it's unfair to the body to do that. So let's do the other side. Just a refresher. Well, hello. Just a refresher there. Hands at heart center. Good. So we'll do that one first. And if you want, you can push the flesh of the belly toward, yep, grab it and put it in the center. Yes. Press the palms together and twist. Good. Beautiful. Now take your arms out into T. We'll just make it a flow. Nice. And then left hand to the outer edge of or right hand to the outer edge of the left knee. Yes. Fantastic. I get excited about twisting. Here's another thing you can do, and this just came to me now. Go ahead and press your knee in toward the center of your body and see if your elbow will come behind. And now Dana's breast comes in there, so if you need to push the breast in, yes, move it in, there we go. And then with the palm that's open, keep it open, and with the back arm here, make a fist into the hand, press the fist into the hand, bend into the knee, and you can take the twist that way. Good, go ahead and release, and we'll do it on the other side just so you see it in full. So switch sides, okay? So depending on how much abundance you have in the center, both hands to the knee, you can pull that belly into the center or you can push that belly into the twist. Now she pulls it into the center, leans into it to keep it there. Then you're gonna take your left arm, bring your left knee in, hook the elbow behind, and now press the knee back into the back of the arm, keeping that left hand open, fist with the right, and then you have resistance here, and then you can come into the twist. If the breast gets in the way, move the breast to the center or push the breast underneath the arm. Beautiful. And then bring your hands down to the mat, and you can come back to tabletop and eventually back to seated. So these are some tips, techniques, tricks, ideas to maybe make twisting a little more accessible in a larger body. 2 things to remember just to recap. Go wider, just get bigger, take up space, reclaim your space, and move things out of the way. So I hope you found that helpful, and we'll see you in the next video.